Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into one of the most recognizable and fascinating coins ever struck, the Liberty Quarter Dollar. At first glance, it may look like just another 25-cent coin, but hidden within its design, mint marks, and condition could be a story worth far more than its face value. From the bold image of liberty standing with confidence, to the intricate details that reflect a piece of American history, these quarters have captured the attention of collectors for decades. Some were minted in limited numbers, some carry rare errors, and a few have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction. In this video, we'll explore what makes Liberty Quarter Dollar coin special, how to identify valuable dates and mint marks, and the surprising features that could turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary find. So before you spend that quarter in your pocket, you might want to take a closer look, because the coin you hold today could be a hidden treasure. Let's get started. The mysterious 1788 Massachusetts Liberty Quarter-style dollar coin has become one of the most talked about treasures in the world of coin collecting. When collectors hear the words 1788 and Massachusetts, attention immediately sharpens, because that year connects to the earliest days of American state coinage and experimental minting. These pieces were never mass-produced like modern coins, and that extreme scarcity is what fuels the legends surrounding their value. A single overlooked example tucked inside an old drawer could instantly transform into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. What makes this coin especially fascinating is the liberty design often associated with early American symbolism. Liberty represented independence, authority, and the identity of a newly forming nation. Coins from this era were struck with primitive equipment, meaning every surviving piece carries unique character. Small imperfections, uneven rims, and slightly off-center strikes actually increase the charm and sometimes the value. Collectors don't just see metal, they see history frozen in silver. The Massachusetts connection deepens the mystery. During the late 1700s, states experimented with their own coinage due to limited federal minting. These coins were not always standardized, and some varieties were produced in extremely small quantities. That means certain examples may exist in only a handful of pieces today. When supply is that limited, even moderate collector demand can push values into astonishing territory. Another factor that drives excitement is the possibility of rare mint marks or die variations. Early coins often show subtle differences, spacing in letters, star arrangements, or liberty portrait changes. A seemingly ordinary 1788 Massachusetts Liberty piece could secretly belong to an ultra-rare die pairing. These hidden varieties are what collectors hunt for, sometimes spending years studying small details under magnification. Condition plays a powerful role as well. A worn example still holds historical importance, but a sharply preserved coin with visible liberty features can command dramatically higher prices. Coins that retain original luster, clean surfaces, and strong lettering become centerpieces in elite collections. Even slight improvements in grade can multiply value several times over. Stories circulate in the collecting world about forgotten heirloom coins suddenly reappearing. A family might pass down a small silver piece without realizing its origin. Years later, a collector identifies it as an early Massachusetts Liberty issue. That moment can feel surreal. The transformation from curiosity to prized artifact happens instantly. The silver composition adds another layer of intrigue. Early silver coins were often hand-prepared, and purity could vary slightly from batch to batch. This handcrafted nature makes each piece subtly different. Over time, silver develops a natural patina, sometimes creating deep gray or rainbow toning that collectors consider beautiful and desirable. Because so few confirmed examples exist, auction appearances generate intense anticipation. When a rare Massachusetts Liberty coin surfaces, bidders from around the world compete. The combination of age, rarity, and historical importance pushes enthusiasm higher with every bid. These moments are where legends about unimaginable worth are born. However, the biggest surprises usually come from previously unknown varieties. Experts sometimes discover a new die combination or unique strike characteristic. When that happens, the coin moves beyond collectible status into something truly exceptional. A newly identified variety can instantly attract museum-level interest. Collectors also value the storytelling power of these coins. Holding a piece dated 1788 connects directly to early American independence and state authority. The Liberty motif reflects ideals that shaped the nation. That emotional and historical connection adds intangible value beyond silver content. Authentication is critical for coins like this. Because the potential value is high, careful examination is necessary. Weight, diameter, edge style, and design details must match known characteristics. Professional grading can confirm authenticity and preserve the coin safely. Even damaged examples can still be valuable due to extreme rarity. Scratches, cleaning marks, or weak strikes reduce price, but they don't erase historical importance. Collectors often accept imperfections when the coin itself is scarce enough. Another powerful factor is demand from advanced collectors. Many high-end collectors try to assemble early American coin sets. When only a few examples exist, competition intensifies. That competition is what pushes certain coins into dramatic price ranges. Market timing also influences perceived worth. When interest in early American coinage rises, rare Massachusetts pieces attract more attention. A coin that once quietly sat in a collection can suddenly become the focus of aggressive bidding. The phrase, "don't spend it at a low price," comes from real caution. Owners sometimes underestimate unusual coins. Selling too quickly without research can mean losing significant potential value. Taking time to study the piece and consult experts is always wise. It's also important to understand that not every 1788 style coin is worth millions. Condition, authenticity, and rarity determine actual value. But the possibility of a rare variety is what keeps collectors searching. That uncertainty adds excitement to every discovery. Some examples gain fame after appearing in major collections. Once a coin is documented and photographed, it becomes part of numismatic history. Future collectors recognize it instantly, increasing desirability even further. If such a coin is discovered, preservation is crucial. Avoid polishing or cleaning. Original surfaces are highly prized, and cleaning can permanently reduce value. Keeping the coin in a protective holder maintains its condition. In the end, the 1788 Massachusetts Liberty Quarter-style dollar represents more than just a coin. It symbolizes early American experimentation, scarcity, and the thrill of discovery. Whether worth thousands or far more, its real power lies in the possibility that a small silver piece from centuries ago could change everything the moment it is truly recognized. The story of the 1980 Liberty Quarter begins with a coin that most people overlook, yet collectors quietly search for it with intense curiosity. The 1980 quarter may appear ordinary at first glance, but certain rare mintmark variations, condition grades, and striking anomalies can transform this small piece of metal into something astonishingly valuable. Hidden inside pocket change, old jars, or inherited collections, this coin carries the possibility of surprising worth that many people never imagine. The 1980 Liberty Quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter design, featuring Liberty through the portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. While millions were produced, rarity is not always about low mintage alone. It is the combination of mintmark, condition, and rare minting errors that creates the dramatic price differences collectors talk about. Some coins that look identical at first can differ by thousands depending on these factors. In 1980, 3 primary mintmarks were used: no mintmark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Among these, the San Francisco strikes, especially proof coins, can become extremely valuable when preserved in flawless condition. A perfectly struck 1980 S-proof quarter with deep mirror surfaces and no blemishes can command impressive collector interest, particularly when graded at the very highest levels. Condition is where the magic truly begins. A circulated 1980 quarter may only be worth face value, but an uncirculated coin that has never touched everyday commerce can be dramatically more desirable. Coins graded MS 67 or higher are extremely scarce. At that level, every detail must be razor-sharp, every surface nearly perfect, and the luster brilliant. These elite coins are the ones that ignite bidding wars. Then there are the rare mint errors, which collectors chase with excitement. A 1980 quarter struck off-center, double-struck, or with a clipped planchet instantly becomes unique. When such an error also exists in high condition, its value can multiply quickly. These unusual mistakes from the mint transform an ordinary quarter into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Another valuable variation is the doubled die effect. When the design appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during die creation, the coin becomes highly collectible. On some 1980 quarters, subtle doubling may appear on lettering or details. When confirmed and authenticated, These coins become much more desirable than standard issues. Luster is another overlooked factor that adds tremendous appeal. A 1980 quarter with blazing mint shine, untouched surfaces, and no contact marks can draw attention instantly. Collectors describe such coins as having a frosty glow, and this visual beauty often pushes values higher than expected. The Denver Mint 1980 D quarter can also surprise collectors. While many were produced, finding one in ultra-high grade is extremely difficult. Coins that survive decades without scratches, dullness, or wear are rare. When one appears graded at the top of the scale, collectors compete aggressively to secure it. Proof coins from San Francisco are particularly dramatic. These were specially struck for collectors with polished dies and planchets. Some 1980 S-proof quarters show deep cameo contrast, bright frosted design floating over mirror-like fields. When preserved perfectly, such coins become premium collectibles. Another factor that increases value is original packaging. If a 1980 proof quarter remains sealed in its original mint set, untouched since release, collectors view it as more desirable. The idea that a coin has remained preserved for decades adds to its appeal and market demand. Collectors also look for strike sharpness. A weakly struck coin lacks detail, but a sharply struck 1980 quarter shows crisp hairlines, bold lettering, and defined eagle feathers. These small details can dramatically influence value when grading professionals evaluate the coin. Silver confusion often adds excitement. Although standard 1980 quarters were copper-nickel clad, some collectors mistakenly believe they are silver. However, rare transitional or unusual compositions, though extremely uncommon, would create extraordinary interest. If such a coin were confirmed, it could command dramatic attention. Market demand plays a huge role as well. When collectors begin searching heavily for a specific year, prices can climb. The 1980 quarter gains attention because it sits in the modern era, where high-grade survivors are surprisingly scarce. This scarcity fuels collector enthusiasm. Grading certification is another major factor. Coins authenticated by professional grading companies receive numeric grades that determine value. A jump from MS-66 to MS-67 can multiply price significantly. The highest graded examples become trophies for advanced collectors. The visual eye appeal cannot be ignored. A coin with rainbow toning, natural color, or unusual brilliance becomes more attractive. Some 1980 quarters develop beautiful hues over time, and collectors often pay premiums for these naturally toned examples. Rarity within condition creates the biggest surprises. Millions exist, but only a tiny fraction survive in flawless state. This imbalance between supply and demand is what creates the possibility of dramatic value differences. Collectors often search bankrolls hoping to find hidden treasures. Occasionally, someone discovers a near-perfect 1980 quarter that escaped circulation. These discoveries keep the dream alive and drive continued interest in this coin. Auction records sometimes shock new collectors. When a top-graded 1980 quarter appears, it may sell for far more than expected due to competition. The rare combination of grade, luster, and strike creates excitement among bidders. The legend of the valuable 1980 Liberty quarter continues because it represents possibility. Most are ordinary, yet a few exceptional examples stand far above the rest. Those rare survivors in perfect condition, with strong mint marks and unique features, are the ones that capture attention and can transform a simple quarter into a prized collectible with remarkable worth. The 1987 Liberty quarter is one of those coins that quietly sits in drawers and old jars while collectors secretly hope it turns out to be something extraordinary. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary Washington quarter from everyday circulation, but certain rare mint-mark varieties and unusual errors from 1987 can transform this simple coin into a highly desirable collectible. The excitement around this coin comes from the idea that something so small and common could carry surprising value, especially when preserved in exceptional condition or struck with rare characteristics. In 1987, quarter-dollar coins were produced for circulation at multiple mints, and most of them were used in everyday transactions. Because of that heavy use, finding one in pristine condition today is already uncommon. Coins that escaped circulation and remained untouched can display crisp details, bright luster, and sharp edges, all of which dramatically increase collector interest. When collectors see a 1987 Liberty quarter that looks nearly perfect, they immediately recognize that it might be something special. The real fascination begins when a 1987 quarter carries a distinctive mint mark. Coins from certain mints sometimes show subtle differences in strike quality, surface finish, or alignment. These tiny details are nearly invisible to the casual eye but extremely important to experienced collectors. A well-struck 1987 quarter with a clear mint mark and nowhere can command a much higher premium than an ordinary example pulled from circulation. Another factor that pushes value higher is the presence of mint errors. Some 1987 quarters were struck with off-center designs, doubled lettering, or die cracks. These mistakes happened during the minting process and were never intended for release, yet a few slipped into circulation. When collectors discover these unusual pieces, they often consider them far more interesting than standard coins. The rarer the error and the cleaner the coin, the stronger the demand becomes. Condition plays a powerful role in determining how valuable a 1987 Liberty quarter can be. Coins graded at the highest levels show no visible wear, no scratches, and full original shine. These top-tier examples are extremely difficult to find because most coins from 1987 were used immediately. When a coin survives in nearly flawless condition, collectors compete for it, and that competition can drive prices much higher than expected. There is also excitement surrounding uncirculated rolls and original mint sets from 1987. Some collectors search through these carefully stored coins hoping to discover a perfect specimen. Occasionally, one emerges with exceptional quality, deep luster, and sharp design elements. When that happens, the coin suddenly stands out from millions of ordinary pieces and becomes a highlight for collectors chasing top-grade examples. Another element that adds intrigue is the possibility of doubled dies. This occurs when the coin design is accidentally impressed twice at slightly different angles. The result is subtle doubling in letters or numbers. A 1987 quarter showing this effect can attract serious attention, especially when the doubling is visible without magnification. These varieties are rare and often sell for much more than regular coins. Collectors are also drawn to coins with strong eye appeal. A 1987 Liberty quarter with bright silver color, smooth surfaces, and sharp portrait details can look stunning even though it was originally made for everyday use. When such a coin appears at auction, bidders often recognize its rarity and compete aggressively. This is when values begin to climb beyond normal expectations. However, it is important to understand that not every 1987 Liberty quarter is worth a fortune. Most are still common and only worth face value. The extraordinary prices people talk about usually apply only to coins with exceptional grade, rare errors, or unusual mint characteristics. The difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable one can be extremely small, yet financially significant. Some collectors dream of discovering a coin that changes their financial future overnight. While this idea is exciting, reality is more grounded. Even the rarest 1987 quarters typically sell for hundreds or sometimes thousands of dollars rather than millions. Still, the thrill of the hunt keeps collectors searching because unexpected discoveries do happen. The 1987 Liberty quarter also attracts attention because of its historical placement. It represents a period when coin production was high and quality varied. This combination created opportunities for rare high-grade survivors and unusual mint errors. Over time, these coins became more difficult to locate, increasing their desirability among collectors. Another reason these coins gain value is population rarity. If only a handful of 1,987 quarters exist in top condition, collectors compete intensely for them. Auctions can become dramatic, with bids rising quickly as participants try to secure the best example available. This competitive environment often creates headlines about surprisingly high prices. Surface preservation is another key factor. Coins that avoided scratches, contact marks, or discoloration maintain a fresh appearance. A 1987 quarter with smooth fields and bright luster can look almost newly minted. This level of preservation is rare and greatly appreciated by collectors seeking the finest possible examples. Sometimes, coins stored for decades in protective holders reveal exceptional quality when finally examined. A 1987 Liberty quarter that spent years untouched may emerge with stunning brilliance. When graded professionally, such coins occasionally achieve top ratings, making them stand out dramatically from ordinary pieces. The design itself also contributes to collector interest. The familiar Liberty-inspired imagery combined with the Washington portrait gives the coin classic appeal. When this design appears sharply struck and perfectly centered, it enhances visual impact. Collectors often pay premiums for coins that combine rarity with attractive presentation. Occasionally, rumors spread about coins worth millions, fueling excitement and curiosity. While these stories are often exaggerated, they encourage people to check their change and examine old coin collections. This widespread attention keeps the 1987 Liberty Quarter in the spotlight and continues to inspire new collectors. The market for these coins depends heavily on demand. When more collectors begin searching for high-grade 1987 quarters, prices tend to rise. Conversely, when interest cools, values may stabilize. This natural fluctuation makes coin collecting both fascinating and unpredictable.